Virgin Islands Connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. It is a significant day in Virgin Islands history. We're talking about Transfer Day on March 31st, 1917. Denmark formally ceded St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas to the United States of America. So we're celebrating 105 years under the American flag this week. In January 1917, the United States agreed to purchase the Virgin Islands from a financially strapped Denmark for $25 million in gold coin. The Danish flag was lowered for the final time, and the United States flag was raised since, signaling the emergence of the Virgin Islands of the United States. VI Senate President Donna Frett Gregory says Transfer Day is an important day, saying, quote, "As Virgin Islanders, we must never forget our rich history. As we observe Transfer Day, let us be reminded of the opportunities that exist and seek to embrace them to ensure a better Virgin Islands for all." U.S. Virgin Islands Aaliyah Boston is officially women's college basketball's National Player of the Year. The exciting announcement was shared on Wednesday as teams gear up for the Final Four. Since then, the celebration has been enormous for Aaliyah, especially on social media. Our USVI News' Ali Born-Vanek has more.
The USVI and the world is in a frenzy right now over Aaliyah Boston winning women's college basketball's National Player of the Year award. And not only that, but also National Defensive Player of the Year. This is historic, and the news has gone viral. Everywhere you go on social media, you see the outpouring of celebration for Aaliyah. Millions of posts, pictures, and videos sharing support for the St. Thomas native who's taking the sports world by storm. As you know, I recently spoke with Aaliyah during March Madness. Here's a quick clip from that interview.
It feels amazing just to even be considered for National Player of the Year. I mean, that's a great honor, and just for all the support I'm getting from back home, I mean, it's amazing just because you know that that's part of your foundation. Like, people who have watched me play at these parks, who have watched me relocate and continue to keep in contact with my parents and my family, just asking in, checking in on how we're doing. I mean, it's just a great feeling because you know that there are people who are rooting for you, and you always know that there's kind of younger kids down there too who might be looking up to me in some way. And so it's like, you know what, we're just going to keep going. We're going to continue to work hard.
Aaliyah in South Carolina will play again this Friday night at the Final Four. Her family and friends from the VI will be watching and will be following the action as well. In St. Thomas, Ali Born-Vanek, USVI News.
And congratulations to Aaliyah, National Player of the Year. That's big stuff. And Governor Albert Bryan Jr. and VI Sports Parks and Recreation Commissioner Calvert White will be at the game to cheer on Aaliyah. The governor has an interview scheduled on ESPN at halftime, so look for that during the game too. The game, again, is at 7 p.m. on Friday, April 1st. So the NCAA tournament resumes this weekend with 4 traditional basketball powers making up the Final Four. The remaining men's teams have won a combined 7 national championships since 2008. Duke Blue Devils coach will complete his Hall of Fame career with his 13th Final Four appearance and a potential 6th NCAA championship. So we'll have to wait and see. His Blue Devils will face their bitter rivals in the UNC Tar Heels on Saturday at 8:50 p.m. for a chance at a championship berth. The Villanova Wildcats face Kansas Jayhawks Saturday night. Winners of these matchups will face one another in the championship game on Monday. Look for that on the men's side. Now to the latest on COVID-19 case counts in the territory. They remain low and steady. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 45 active cases territory-wide, with 32 on St. Croix, 13 on St. Thomas, and no current active cases on St. John. Meantime, the Omicron subvariant has caused COVID-19 cases to skyrocket in the UK, and it's now the dominant strain of the virus in the U.S., according to the CDC, although as of yet, it has not been found here in the Virgin Islands, but health leaders here expect it eventually will be. So here's more on what experts say we should be doing now.
BA2, the highly contagious Omicron subvariant, now accounts for nearly 55% of all COVID-19 cases in the U.S., according to the latest data from the CDC.
We know that this new subvariant BA2 is even more transmissible than the original Omicron variant, and it is spreading quickly.
The hardest hit region continues to be the Northeast, where BA2 is the cause of more than 70% of all new COVID-19 infections. Health officials warn BA2 coupled with lower mask use may cause an uptick in cases.
But I hope that there will be enough people vaccinated combined with prior infection and recovery that we'll be able to decouple infections from hospitalizations, and our hospitals are not going to be overwhelmed.
Right now, nationwide, COVID-19 hospitalizations are near their lowest point ever. Still, health experts say we need to be prepared going forward.
We have to make sure that we stockpile treatments, that we have enough testing, we also have enough booster doses. We have to prepare for what happens if we have another surge.
The FDA has now expanded the emergency use authorization of the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines to allow adults ages 50 and older to get a second booster as early as 4 months after their first booster dose of any COVID-19 vaccine. But the CDC says only about 29% of those fully vaccinated have gotten their first booster.
And that should be the priority, to get people initially vaccinated and then that additional booster before we talk about a fourth dose.
At last check, according to the VI Department of Health, there were no COVID-19 related hospitalizations in the territory. So good news there for sure. President Biden is ordering the release of up to 1 million barrels of oil per day from the nation's Strategic Petroleum Reserve for about 6 months. It's in an effort to drive down record oil prices. The move would free up as much as 180 million barrels of oil, the largest release of U.S. reserves in history, with the first barrels coming on the market in May. The United States consumes more than 7 billion barrels of oil a year. U.S. consumers have been hit hard with record high gas prices as a result of disruptions to the oil market caused by the pandemic and the U.S. ban on Russian oil imports following its invasion of Ukraine. The surge in prices has helped push inflation to its highest point in decades, with oil prices affecting everything from the cost of plastics to food. This move could help lower gas prices fairly soon. So if you're wondering when grocery prices will come down, the answer is probably not anytime soon. In fact, some new government forecasts show you might have to pay even more for those commodities in the coming months. The USDA now predicts grocery prices will increase up to 4% throughout this year. And the average cost of dining out could set a new record too. That's partly because Ukraine and Russia usually export a large amount of the world's wheat and corn. And China's new COVID-19 lockdowns are making it hard for supply chains to recover from the pandemic. So the USDA says dairy prices are expected to increase between 4 and 5%. Poultry could cost 6 to 7% more, and prices for cereals, baked goods, and sweets could go up 3 to 4%. If you think eating out could save you some money, think again. Again, the USDA also predicts restaurant prices will increase anywhere from 5.5% to 6.5% this year. A scam is circulating the nation, and it's coming from an unlikely source, your own cell phone number. Laura Podesta warns us about the phony message and what to do if you get it.
Chris Welch is an editor and reviewer at The Verge. He normally writes about how technology can help you, but Monday, the latest scam popped up on his phone. A text from himself.
To see it as your own number, there's something weird and kind of unsettling about that. And so I checked on Twitter, I searched, spam own number, and sure enough, it seemed like a big wave of people had just gotten this text.
He said the text congratulates you for paying a bill and includes a link. Chris clicked on it for his own investigation.
So the link in my case took me to the website of Channel 1 Russia, which is like a state media TV network.
The scam is targeting Verizon wireless users. Verizon says it significantly curtailed the activity and in a statement said we're actively working with others in our industry and with U.S. law enforcement, adding we have no indication of any Russian involvement.
Fraud experts say our phones have become the contact method of choice for scammers, and we should treat our phone number the way we do other sensitive information.
The National Consumers League says phishing scams were the third most reported type of fraud complaint in 2021.
Really just the best advice for most people is just delete the text, ignore it, don't click on the link.
You can also forward the message to the Federal Trade Commission at 7726. Report the phishing scam to local police or your state attorney general, and tell friends, family, and coworkers. Welch says this scam isn't going away quickly. Right after our conversation, he received another text from himself.
Fraud experts recommend you don't show the link you've received on social media or anywhere that gives the scammers more exposure.